Hey everybody, welcome back to the Airsoftology Q&A show, question and answer show, here to help answer all of your airsoft questions you might have, whether they're somewhat technical, just kind of around the industry, or something about the future like new product releases. I'm here to do my best to try to help demystify the world of airsoft. By the way, I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and I'm here to help. If you guys want to have a question answered, it goes in the comment section below. Just put it down there, and I'll do my best to go through them and answer them in the next week's show. Also, if you have a YouTube channel of your own or one you enjoy, put those down there as well that are airsoft related, and I will put a video recommendation of the week every single week at the end of the show. So stay to the end in this one, because it's one that many of you actually had a campaign, 2 weeks in a row, campaigns to really make it happen. So anyway, let's get the show started. Before you do that, I do have a web store with some cool morale patches and stuff that you can pick up and buy, and goes to support the show, and you get something cool and free shipping worldwide. So no matter where you live, you're going to pay the same price. It's pretty cool. So I've worked out a way to make free shipping happen globally. Anyway, enough about all that. Let's dive on into what you're really here for, and that's your questions in the Megastore mail call. Raymond O writes, I was recently told by a fellow airsofter that Bio BBs can potentially break in your gun and be very expensive to fix, due in part to not being made structurally as sound as a regular non-bio. Is there any truth to this? With modern BBs, no, there's not any truth to it. When you deal with structural integrity of a BB and looking how well they're made, if you go back, 10, 15 years in airsoft, yeah, there was different materials they used, and sure, you could run into some issues where, the bios weren't that great. In fact, there was one they used a cornstarch, and the second you open the bag up, it started absorbing moisture from the air and it swelled. Well, today you're using a couple different materials. In fact, I did a huge video last year about Bio BBs, and there was some drama with some companies, one company in particular in the US, a US-based company, about Bio BBs and such, and there's really just two materials they're using for bio. Most every company is using a PLA material, and then a few of them, or one of them in particular, is using a different one, is OXO material. But both of those are actually a polymer. They're very solid, they're very rigid, they're used in packaging and other materials around the world, compostable. So these are strong materials. These aren't materials that are going to fall apart or break or anything like that. They're used in a ton of consumer products around the globe. So yeah, when you look at things like that, you're not dealing with a low quality by making the choice to bio. That said, I do want to be clear about how important it is to use good quality BBs. Now, if you're buying super cheap, go to the discount store, getting the clear things, or any really low priced, low quality BB that's not a good brand, then yes, you could run into a major issue with quality of the BB and causing damage to your gun, whether it be scratching the inner barrel, something as minor as that, or BBs that are out of tolerance, too big and they'll get jammed up, or too small and they just don't deal with consistent shooting, meaning you'll have inconsistencies in power and accuracy and things like that because they're not made really well. With that in mind, pretty much every major brand, all the major retailers, their house brands are going to be great. If you look at major manufacturers, all the big companies, their BBs are going to be great. And there's only a handful of factories that make BBs. There's maybe 4 or 5 in the globe that actually make BBs. So chances are you're probably buying from one of those 4 or 5 places, no matter what you get. So as long as you pick up a good quality BB, basically go to your local airsoft shop, look online at the major online retailers, you're going to be getting good quality BBs. I mean, these companies aren't going to sell the junk because they're not going to want to deal with the warranty returns if they sell that in conjunction with their product. You buy a gun, you buy these BBs, they're wanting you to have a good experience. And let's face it, these shops do make money on BBs. I mean, they're consumables. That's something that shops do make good money on. So they want you coming back and purchasing over and over again those good BBs. So at your local field, all these places, you're going to be getting and have the opportunity to purchase good quality stuff. There are a few times where you will see low quality, and typically the shops or the sites or the companies will say, hey, these are good for grenades or LPAEGs, low power AEGs, meaning the cheapy ones you can buy, super cheap, $10, $15, $20 airsoft guns that are electric, or the Springers, things like that. Those are fine to use in those situations. They're typically lightweight, up to maybe .20s. Above a .20, there's only, I really can barely think of like one or two situations where you're going to deal with a low quality BB. So once you get to the heavier weight BBs, 0.25, 0.28 especially, you're not dealing with low quality at that point. Really, you're going to deal with all high quality stuff. I know it's a long answer to your question, but I want to kind of give you the explanation behind BBs and the materials, and then also the quality, so we can maybe help demystify this thing about Bio BBs. Now, non-bio ones are going to be made from polymer, from plastic. I mean, like real plastic. And typically they're going to be made of styrene. That's going to be it, which doesn't break down in the environment at all. It doesn't ever break down, actually. But, those are still great quality BBs. Indoor, I would highly recommend using those if your field allows it. If they're going to maybe use that to recycle them, they can actually take those and claim them. But I think a lot of fields are shifting to bio. And for me personally, for the past 4 or 5 years now, I've exclusively run Bio BBs, all from different major name brand companies. I stick with heavier weights like 0.28, 0.30, or 0.31 or 32. That's typically my weight range, usually in the 3 or a little higher range. And I've had no issues at all. So that's just my experience. I've shot a lot of BBs. I do a lot of testing and things like that with them. And I played a lot over my history. And it's pretty safe, at least in my experience, to go bio, and you're kind of doing something a little better for the environment. BP writes, what's the deal with shipping airsoft accessories? I went on Amazon to get a front grip and noticed you can't buy a lot of accessories for firearms and airsoft online anymore. Yeah, Amazon's a weird bird. They really restrict the firearm category a lot. So if you're looking at Amazon, specifically US, UK, things like that, as a global policy, they're restricting airsoft. It's weird. You can actually sell airsoft guns on there, but then they'll restrict firearm accessories. It's just a weird, odd situation. And I think a lot of people aren't wanting to risk their account by putting those up and have a bad experience or something interesting. Yeah, so I think it's really coming down to it. A lot of major like online retailers, meaning like Walmart in the US, we're looking at companies like Amazon, of course, and other places really put a lot of restrictions on firearms parts. And that's why you have to go to major online retailers out there to pick these things up, or go directly to, like online firearms companies and firearms retailers to pick these up as well. But even then they can't advertise, right? Even myself in Airsoft, I cannot run Google ads. I can't run ads on YouTube. I can't run ads on Facebook. I can't run ads on Instagram. I cannot run an advertisement anywhere because it's Airsoft. And they'll be like, nope, sorry. They'll limit my posts and be like, hey, we'd love to sell you some advertising. And then when you go to click on it, they're like, oh, just kidding. You're in the restricted category. Sorry. And I think that's where we're looking at with companies like Amazon. They're not wanting the bad press of saying, well, we offer firearms parts. And then a group of people that have one interest in mind are like, oh, well, that's terrible. You should never do that, And then another group is like, well, we should allow this because it's a product and you can do it. So I think overall, they err on the side of, well, we don't want to make these people mad, so we're going to make these people mad, and then just going to restrict it. And that sucks, but it's unfortunately a private company. There's nothing we can do about it. We just need to take our business to the companies that do offer that. So the online firearms retailers, the online airsoft retailers, things like that are the way to go. Now, there's more to your question about like shipping and like 2-day shipping and stuff like that from like you mentioned a major online retailer you were purchasing from. And that's, again, their shipping policy. I don't know why it was this high. If you guys want to go back like a week, you see his question. He was actually like, shipping was incredible, like a lot of money for a small like $10 part. I think it's because you were doing 2-day. I don't know why. Maybe it was where you were located. And then, I don't know, maybe it's the size of the part, because sometimes it's usually size plus weight. But if it's a small like grip or accessory, it should be relatively cheap to ship. Even like 2 days should be like $20-something. So it could be something wrong with the shipping. A lot of the shipping is calculated because of the weight and the dimensions that are entered into the online retailer's website, and it calculates that. Maybe somebody entered the weight incorrectly, and it's calculating a much heavier weight for you or something like that. So yeah, it's just a really tough one to deal with. It's unfortunate, but just I'd say stick to the big ones. The companies out there, shop around. Shop with your wallet and try to find the best opportunity that gets it to you in the right way. And, unfortunately, just Amazon may not be the place to go shopping for airsoft accessories much anymore in some situations. All right, that is it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And by the way, Code Red Headsets has got now a Nexus plug adapter. I've been waiting for this thing forever. I just got an email on it. I'm going to give a shout out because they are a sponsor of this segment. They've got a Nexus plug adapter for their radios now, so that's awesome. So if you got like a Nexus plug headset and you want to have it interface with your Baofeng radio, you can do it, and you can actually pick up one and not have to do some crazy solder wiring and things like that. So you have like real contacts, you want to make it work. Just heads up, I'm usually not like huge plug for people, but that's awesome. I'm actually going to be grabbing one myself because that's pretty darn cool. Anyway, this one is Negative Airsoft, and a bunch of you jumped in and said, you've got to check out this channel. And I went and I clicked on it. I was like, all right, so this guy does like these top-down tech videos. I was like, oh, it could be kind of cool to watch. Then, of course, you warned me. You said, hey, it's a little salty language, but this guy is hilarious. Now, mind you, this is absolutely over 18 language, lots of F-bombs and things like that. So heads up, don't make your parents mad. If they don't want you watching things with profanity, you're going to get profanity with this. So heads up, this is one of my rare recommendations of you might want to check a channel out that comes with the asterisks of if you don't like salty language or your parents don't approve of it or anybody around, don't do this. And definitely don't have the volume up on your phone in public if you're watching this like on a phone or tablet or even your computer in a shared environment. But with that said, this guy's great. He talks about tech issues. Like I clicked on a video for like a PSG-1 he was doing about this, one of his customers. He is a tech. He actually does tech business in the UK. So he does make money off this that way. But he goes through a lot of his builds and his repairs and things he does for his customers. And it's very sarcastic. I think I got to go through my little thing here. All I want to say there was, let's see. Let me give you the shout out to the names of the other. Rico1, 982 recommended him. NK recommended him. And then who's the other one? Callsign Bashy recommended it. And Callsign Bashy, the last thing he says, he's the Gordon Ramsay of Airsoft. And I think that's probably the best way to describe this channel. Absolutely. Of course, I don't have the audio playing for the video, but the audio is what makes it golden. Now, you can also learn tech at the same time. I mean, I already learned something from the PSG video. I was like, PSG-1, I was like, I didn't know you could swap that, and that's pretty cool. All right, like I always wanted a PSG-1 way back in the day, the Marui ones. So I already learned something new from him. He definitely earned my sub. He's got a low sub count, but the dialogue, or his monologue really, his monologue that he does, he narrates these videos as he's working on, it's good. It's good. If you like that sarcastic humor, little informative, but tongue in cheek. Some of his stuff's like obviously he's joking, but when he makes the jokes and stuff, totally worth the sub mash button. For me, I love it. I love that kind of humor anyway. So definitely a great channel. Thank you all for the great recommendation. If you like a little saltiness, definitely go check out his channel. If not, just wait till next week. I'll have something a lot more family friendly on to recommend to you. But yeah, definitely for me, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So keep up the good work, man. You earned a sub from me and hopefully from more of you guys and gals out there if you go check out the channel and like it. But definitely earned mine, and I'll be watching your new videos all the time. So anyway, so that's it. If you guys want to have your video on here, don't forget, put it down below in the comment section. Your own channel does apply. I do allow shameless self-promotion as well as promoting any other channel. Try to keep it in the airsoft world. And also, you have a question you'd like for me to give my opinion or answer on or something like that, I would love to be here to help. So anyway, until next week, go out, play some airsoft, have some fun, but no matter what you do, call your friggin' hits.